What's up, everyone? Derek here with something a little different, as it's a little nuts here at GameXplain headquarters, as, well, Smash Brothers was just announced for the Switch, and there is a ton to talk about, and we'll be doing our discussion very soon. But before we get to that, we wanted to look at that outline at the very end of the trailer, showcasing tons of characters who all seem to be returning characters, at least as far as we can tell so far, and, well, we wanted to focus on what they might be. So we got the whole crew here. We got myself, we got Andre, we got Ash, we got John. It's the whole all-star crew, as Andre said. Before we even started this, so yeah, it is pretty nuts in here, but we wanted to sort of take a look and see who these characters might be, who we know is returning, and get a better sense of what we're in for with Smash. Now, from what we can tell, we're looking at between 14 and 16 characters in here if we include the Inklings. So yeah, it's pretty massive, but the thing is, we're not entirely sure about all of these, so we wanted to sort of put our thought process out there so you guys can sort of see where we're coming from, put your own thoughts out there, and maybe help us figure out the ones that we don't automatically know. So
it's like a real-time analysis.
It pretty much. Yeah. So I got my handy-dandy mouse here so I can sort of focus on here, and you guys can see what we're looking at as we're talking about it. So let's go ahead and jump in here and go left to right with our first character right here, who we're pretty sure is Pit. We got, his head with the messed up hair, the two wings on either side, and what we think is his weapon or bow or whatever he does there.
What is his blade thing?
Yeah, that thing. Next to him is also quite obvious with the head. That's almost definitely DK. Like, I can't believe if it's not. So, yeah, DK is definitely returning here. Now, here's where we get into the tricky stuff right off the bat. I'm going to zoom in here. This patch right here. We're not sure if this is a character or not. I honestly can't, or two characters. Like, I honestly can't see anything in this malaise of darkness and fire. But you guys have seen something.
So you thought it might be part of DK's, like, the fur on his arm,
or just he blended in, or some like a fiery offshoot from the flames.
Anything's possible. But when I watched it back and forth, it looked like there might be some depth there between at least the front portion and DK, suggesting it might be a character. So I was thinking it might be Lucas, based on like a little tuft of hair in front, which, well, if it is hair. And then if that's the case, then that might be another character between him and DK, as you kind of mentioned. But as for who that is, I really have no clue. So again, if you have any ideas out there, you can let us know. Let us know your input on that.
Now I have Ash, I was going to say you had an idea, right?
Well, yeah, and I'm actually, the more I look at it, the more I'm coming up with another idea. So my initial guess maybe was that it could be Yoshi, possibly. Like, I could see that being his nose where you are right now, and maybe his big bulbous eyes to the left of that. But the more I look at it, I'm thinking maybe we could possibly be looking at Ness and Lucas standing side by side.
That could be.
Yeah.
I could, because, the one on the left has that little flip up in the front of his hair that Lucas has. So I'm wondering if we could be looking at both of them just standing side by side.
That's interesting, because later on, we'll get to that later, but I think they may be standing by series. Because later on, there are two characters from the same series standing next to each other. So maybe.
Good point.
That is possible.
Well, we can come back to this, so let's go ahead and maybe move on to the next few.
Next up is this one right down here, who is almost definitely Kirby. Like, just the definition, the shape, that just feels like it's Kirby. Almost absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, next up here is this sort of normalish figure, but that almost screams Marth to me. Like, this totally seems like it's going to be Marth, and it's really no shock if he returns.
Do you have a generic human shape? You're probably a Fire Emblem character.
Thanks, Andre. Obviously, next to him, we have Mario, who we got to see a little bit closer of, about the same as you'd expect. However, with Link, the other clip that we saw during the trailer, it actually revealed that it's his Breath of the Wild design. We're no longer going with Twilight Princess. Breath of the Wild is now more iconic, which, I'm down with.
Thank God. Yeah, we'll talk about all this more in our discussion. That is awesome, though. Love that.
Super cool. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, moving over next, we got this figure, which, again, we don't know who this is. Like, this tail thing here makes me think it could be, it might have been Pikachu, but as we'll see later, I think, well, I can just show it now. I think this is Pikachu right here, but we'll get back to him. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, who the heck could this be? Is it just another weird offshoot of the fire? Could it actually be a character? My only thought is, like, as far as shape is, like, could it be Starfy? And I'm like, that can't be right. It couldn't be Starfy.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm thinking? What you thought was a tail, I'm actually seeing that as flames. Like, I feel like that might be where the outline of the character is. I don't think that's a tail. Which makes it even weirder, because it almost looks like their legs would be cut off, like they're just kind of floating there. Or unless that's just like a flame in front of them. They're like standing in the flames, and that one flame is like coming around them. So but I don't know who that could be.
It looks quite humanoid-y, so
it does.
Maybe Captain Falcon? I'm
Yeah,
not really seeing that shape, though.
You know,
I'm just thinking
it
about
could
the
be
humans.
Captain Falcon like standing in kind of a cool pose with his arms crossed or something. I could see that.
Oh yeah, actually, now that you say that, like I can see like there's his head, there's his arms kind of crossed right around there.
Yeah.
The waist, leg down that way with a little bit of flame coming that
I
in
see
front
it
of
too.
him.
I could see that.
I think we figured it
So
out.
that could be
Nice.
Captain Falcon. Wow. See, that's why we do this live, so we can figure it out.
Yeah.
Next to him, a lot more obvious.
Who is that?
Yeah, that's definitely
wonder.
Samus. Totally back.
It's Ridley.
Yeah, totally Ridley. Next to her is another one we're not sure of. Like, the thing is,
Fire Emblem.
I look at this outline, I almost see Palutena.
I could see that.
Like, the way the
Yeah.
arm shape held up, but I think that also might be Samus's arm. It's hard to tell. Like, I'm like we got the flames in there, so it's not quite sure. But,
Right.
like, my first thought when I saw this was Palutena, but I also don't think that might be the case. One, because we think the characters might be next to each other as far as series, but then again, we have Mario over here and Bowser over here,
that's true.
so it might not be the case. It's really hard to say, but I don't know. Do you guys have any other ideas?
I mean, it's impossible to say, but it looks more masculine to me. But again, it's such a vague, such a vague outline. I really couldn't say for sure. So I'm not quite seeing Palutena though.
Well, we'd have to. I mean, we're considering whoever this is standing next to Samus. This would have to be a really tall character, whoever it is. So, if
That's a good
Palutena
point.
isn't that tall, then we can rule her out. And I don't think she's as tall as Samus. But to be honest, I don't know. But
Right.
Samus is, she's really tall and she's got the power suit. So I feel like it would have to be someone equally tall, obviously.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking another tall character might be Bayonetta. The haircut's quite short. It could be
Oh, that's a
Bayonetta's
good
one.
version.
It's possible. What about, could it be Ike?
nice.
The
Very
build would
broad
be
enough,
much
maybe.
thicker. Like looking at that arm, if that is Ike's arm, I'm not sure, or even just this one. That is too scrawny for Ike.
Yeah, he's not swole there. Yeah, good point.
I don't know.
That one's tough.
Yeah, well, we can come back.
Yeah. All right. Next one, Bowser. Obviously,
Obviously.
Bowser. Next one,
Don't say.
Pikachu. We got the ears.
Yep.
I can even see the cheeks. Make out the cheeks there. And then we got these two on the end, which also gave us a little bit of trouble. However, at the end here, we got sort of another amorphous blob, which makes you think Kirby, but we've already pointed out Kirby, so we think it might be Jigglypuff.
Right. I mean, yeah, there's
Yeah.
not too many small squad blobs that are mainstays in Smash Brothers. But that did lead us to an interesting line of thought as to who the character in the middle could be, right?
Yeah, right
Right.
here. And I think you're the one that came up with this idea, correct, Ash?
Yes, I think so.
So,
So I just based on the fact that the character to the left is Pikachu and the character to the right might be Jigglypuff, I was thinking, could we be looking at the return of Pokemon Trainer? I would find it strange that Pokemon Trainer would be controlling Pikachu and Jigglypuff, and that just may be for effect here.
Oh, it's just for effect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
So, but I'm just wondering if we might be seeing a Pokemon Trainer thematically standing between our two Pokemon veterans, as a returning veteran from Brawl.
I could absolutely see that, and I think it will make a lot of sense because we know part of the reason that they made the roster choice they did in Smash 4 is because of the 3DS basically holding it back. So I think that might be why they cut Pokemon Trainer, because of his revolving cast of characters. With his 3 Pokemon you could bring out. Now might be the time to bring it back, and that does fit thematically here. And those are in fact Pikachu and Kirby, even though again these are all vague
Kirby,
shapes,
how
so
about Jigglypuff?
I'm sorry, Jigglypuff. Yeah.
Yep, Kirby's a Pokemon. You heard it here. No, and actually, as soon as Ash said that, I started looking at this closer. This looks like that Red's hat to me. Right there, with the
Yeah.
the head.
I am seeing that,
And
yeah.
then you got
Yeah, I can
this bulk
totally
in the
see it.
background that could be his backpack. Like, it's just sort of sticking out that way.
Yeah.
So, I think you might be onto something there, Ash. I really do.
I hope so, because I'd love
Me
that.
too. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it would make sense. Pikachu, Pokemon Trainer, Jigglypuff. Hey, Return of Squirtle, my favorite Pokemon. I'm totally down for that.
So, do we want to do a quick recap then?
So yeah, just as a quick recap of as far as our characters that we think we know about, at least absolutely sure. We got Inklings. We have Pit. We have Donkey Kong. We have maybe Lucas and Ness. Kirby, Marth, Mario, Link, Captain Falcon, Samus. unknown, maybe Palutena. That's my best guess anyway. Bowser, Pikachu, Pokemon Trainer, and Jigglypuff.
Just to add to it, we also thought maybe Bayonetta.
And maybe Bayonetta for this one.
Right,
so that, as far as the others, I'm actually, you guys convinced me that this is Captain Falcon.
I see it here. I see it now. I see the crossed arms. I see him just staring at the fireball.
Completely.
He probably created himself because he's a badass.
Yeah.
Who do you think made these flames?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, this is the big unknown for me as far as this, and of course this bit over here. So
yeah, those two.
Which
to clarify, even though we mentioned it might be Lucas and Ness, I mean it really could be anyone.
Oh yeah, I have not.
I don't know.
I'm maybe 20% for that one.
Yeah.
About the same for this, like 25-ish to either Bayonetta or Palutena. But otherwise, I think we got a pretty good starting roster so far, and that's what's interesting here is that this does seem like a new Smash, not a port or anything of Wii U and 3DS.
We'll talk about that more, I'm sure, in our
discussion. That's just a little preview for the discussion itself. But yeah, those are the characters that we think are coming to Super Smash Bros. For the Switch. And again, we'll talk more about that in the discussion itself. So thank you guys so much for watching. And of course, be sure to subscribe to GameXplain for more on Nintendo, including Smash Bros., all this stuff that was announced during the Direct, and all things gaming. I don't know. See you guys later. Bye.